Only 7 days left until the wedding, and Kevin took advantage of the moment while I was asleep, shaved off all my long hair. That night, Bella came to apologize, draped in a seductive set of curls. "I am so sorry, Caroline," she said, her voice laced with regret. I was joking with Kevin, telling him I want to shave my head to become a nun. I never thought he'd go that far to appease me. He shaved his own head, and then did the same to you, Kevin. Likely expecting me to explode, hurriedly shielded Bella from my wrath. It was my idea to shave our heads, not Bella's. "Don't take it out on her. Your hair will grow back, and we can just wear wigs for the wedding," he added, as if that would somehow solve everything. But what he didn't know was that I wasn't planning on marrying him anymore. My parents had contacted me a month ago, asking me to come live with them overseas, and just a little while ago, I had already booked my flight to Germany. 8 years of love, and I never intended to argue with Kevin before our parting, so I didn't retaliate. I simply stayed silent, quietly watching him. "Caroline, what I meant was, this time I didn't think things through." Kevin's head lowered gradually under the weight of my silence, and he reached out to take my hand. Just the right moment, Bella popped up from behind Kevin. She pouted and said, "Caroline, don't blame Kevin. You two are about to get married, so let's not cause trouble at such a crucial moment." And anyway, didn't brother shave his head too? I looked silently at the seemingly innocent face in front of me, suddenly feeling a bitter irony. My expression seemed to provoke Bella. Her face darkened instantly before shifting to a look of grievance. "Caroline, is it only I shaved my head that you'll be satisfied?" Her eyes were red, as though I was the one who had started all of this. "Fine," I said, a faint smile on my lips, my gaze fixed on Bella's dark, lustrous hair. "Since you want to shave it, go ahead. This whole mess started because of you." After all, Bella didn't expect me to respond this way, and for a moment, her breath caught in her throat. She panicked for 2 seconds before regaining her composure. With tears brimming in her eyes, she grabbed the scissors from the table. Looking up at Kevin, she said, "If it makes Caroline happy, I can do anything." Kevin's face darkened further. "It's just hair. As long as my sister forgives me, I really don't mind." With that, she squeezed her eyes shut, her face contorted in pain, and with a loud cry, she lifted her hand as if she were about to make the cut. Sure enough, the next moment, a powerful force yanked the scissors out of her hands, throwing them hard onto the floor. Kevin's face was grim. "Caroline, Bella is still young. Can't you be a little more understanding? It was I cut. What does it have to do with her? It's just hair. Do you really have to make such a big deal out of it? Why force her to shave it too?" His brow furrowed deeply. "Bella has always cared about her appearance. If you take her hair away, how's she going to face people? Do you know how much damage it could do to her self-esteem? Why can't you just be a little more reasonable and stop being so irrational?" As I listened to his words, a sharp bitterness filled my chest. It felt as though all the years of sacrifice and love had been nothing but a joke. "Kevin, I'm your girlfriend. Your fiancé." I clenched my fists, trying to suppress the shaking in my voice. "You better get it straight." Something in my words seemed to trigger Kevin. His mood shifted suddenly, his anger flaring up. With a furious tone, veins popping in his neck, he snapped, "Caroline, what's with the sarcasm? I only see Bella as a sister. There's nothing between us. Why can't you just trust me? Why do you always pick at the smallest things and blow them out of proportion?" Kevin pulled Bella's hand and turned to leave. Before going, he glanced back at me with a deep look in his eyes. "Caroline, think carefully. We shouldn't see each other before the wedding. Let's not talk about this. It wouldn't be good for Bella." The whole time, Kevin had only considered Bella's feelings, never once thinking about me. The door slammed shut. The last words Kevin had said echoed in my ears. "I'll still come to marry you in 7 days." I bitterly looked up at the ceiling. "Kevin, I won't marry you. Never again." The sun had long since set behind the mountains. I sat on the balcony, staring blankly at the traffic outside. After a long while, I pulled my phone out of my pocket. Instagram notified me that someone I frequently interacted with had posted a new message. I thought it was Kevin and clicked on it. To my surprise, it was Bella. A video, 1 minute long. The sky was a brilliant blue, The clouds fluffy and tall trees surrounded the scene, their leaves rustling with the sound of cicadas. Kevin stood beneath the trees, smiling affectionately at the person filming. Bella, look. Here are the carvings we made when we were kids. The breeze blew through his hair, and he looked so perfect. While I sat here, alone and engulfed in darkness, they were laughing and revisiting their old haunts. The caption read, "Thankfully, the past you are still by my side." The video, their intimate gestures, drew countless comments from followers, infected by their closeness, all offering their blessings. Childhood sweethearts. So perfect together. This is like a scene from an idol drama. They should get married already. As we all know, in the court, it was all so eye-catching, and yet it stung. My chest felt like a heavy weight was pressing down on it, making it hard to breathe. Soon after, Bella replied to a comment, "Everyone, don't misunderstand. My brother is getting married soon. My sister is so beautiful. She even my account number with her." Within just 2 minutes, my Instagram was flooded. The comment section and private messages were full of venomous attacks. Paramore, slut, why don't you go die? My hand, holding the phone, trembled uncontrollably. Memories rushed back to me. I suddenly remembered the past. I met Kevin in college. It was during the freshman welcome event. He stepped in to stop someone from maliciously forcing me to drink. After that, we became familiar with each other. In the second half of our first year, he started pursuing me, sending flowers, buying me gifts, picking me up from class. He was endlessly gentle. And as someone who had grown up without parents, I quickly found myself drawn to him. We got together during the first snowfall. He held me in his arms, warming my hands, his smile wide and genuine. "Caroline, why do I like you so much?" Later, I found out about Bella. Kevin explained it to me. It was just a childhood betrothal arranged by our parents. It doesn't count. "Caroline, I've broken off the engagement. Bella is just like a sister to me. I only like you to at first." Bella kept her distance. But gradually, her true nature began to show. She ate Kevin's leftover cake, wore his pajamas, linked arms with him while shopping, and even slept in his bed. Remember one time she whispered in my ear, "Sister, don't you think you're a bit like a mistress?" That time, I hit Bella hard. In return, Kevin gave me this silent treatment for an entire month. After that, Bella became increasingly arrogant. If this had happened before, I would have caused a huge scene. But now, I calmly read through all the hateful comments. I raised my hand and liked Bella's post on Instagram. I pinched my cheek, stood up, and started packing my things. It was time to leave. From now on, everything about Kevin and Bella would have nothing to do with me. 3 days later, the quiet door was suddenly knocked on. I slipped into my slippers and walked out of the bedroom, just in time to see Kevin bending down at the entryway, changing his shoes. He saw me and flashed a smile. "Caroline, why haven't you been replying to my messages these past few days?" "I've been really worried about you." I suddenly remembered. For the past few days, Kevin had been texting and calling me, but I had ignored all of it. I didn't want to reply. "I'm tired. Is that not allowed?" I answered coldly. Kevin's smile froze on his face. I ignored his expression and was about to turn away, but Kevin spoke first. "Caroline, I came today to explain." He walked over, wrapping his arms around me from behind. His back pressed against my chest as he slowly spoke. Explaining, "Bella is just a kid. Don't take what she says seriously. She and I grew up together, and am about to get married. Of course, she'll feel uncomfortable, but I swear." He raised his right hand, looking sincere as he made an oath. "I swear, Caroline, I've always kept it proper with her. Once we're married, I promise I'll keep my distance from her." Kevin said it seriously, but I felt nothing. "See? He knows what he should and shouldn't do." "Fine." I nodded indifferently, breaking free from his embrace and looking up to meet his eyes. "But let me reiterate something. I'm not the mistress between you two. We're together because you pursued me." I know. Kevin nodded repeatedly, quickly agreeing. Then he said something vague. "Bella's just a kid. She was just joking, but I don't like it." It seemed like he didn't expect me to be so firm. Kevin stood stunned for a moment before finally reacting, lowering his head to coax me. Baby, I said the wrong thing. I deserve to be punished. His voice was filled with affection and helplessness. When I didn't respond, his expression darkened for a brief moment. Kevin quickly hid his emotions and took out a bag from the table. I saw a couple wearing matching outfits in the park yesterday. I thought you might like them, so I bought you a set. Let's wear them together, okay? A passionate kiss landed on my cheek. I stared blankly at the bag in his hand, suddenly feeling dazed. Chapter 6. When we first got together. I was full of girlish thoughts. I loved anything that came in pairs. Couple outfits, matching toothbrush holders, couple water bottles, couple bracelets. But every time I excitedly showed him the things I had carefully picked out, Kevin would always furrow his brows and pour cold water on me. Caroline, how old are you? Stop being so childish. Besides, Bella's still young. If she sees us doing this, she'll throw a tantrum. Bella was only 2 years younger than me, but in Kevin's eyes, she was a child, and everything she did had to be indulged. That time, I felt both aggrieved and heartbroken, and now, I didn't need it anymore. Put it down. I put aside my thoughts and spoke. Kevin noticed my tone had softened, so he took the opportunity to hold my hand, asking naturally, Caroline, what's your wedding dress size? Do you have one size smaller? I bit my lip, not answering. Under my silent gaze, he fumbled for words. Bella said that if we get married and let her be the bridesmaid, she won't bother me anymore, and we can have a peaceful life. Isn't that good? I couldn't help but laugh to myself. Was he wearing matching outfits with Bella at the wedding to show others their relationship? How disgusting. Kevin, you before I could finish. A text message notification interrupted me. It was a message from Bella. Kevin is such an idiot. He bought a couple outfit that's one size too big. It should fit me perfectly, and I really like your wedding dress. Remember to order a smaller sized. In that moment, blood surged in my veins. All the resentment, sadness, and frustration that had built up inside me exploded. I slapped Kevin across the face without thinking, shouting at him, "You're not a man." Kevin, stunned by the sudden slap, immediately became angry. Caroline, are you crazy? I was crazy. But who was really the crazy one? I let out a cold laugh, suppressing the rage that surged in my chest. Open your eyes, Kevin. This is your dear sister. Silence. Dead silence. Kevin's throat seemed to be choked, and it took him a long time to force words out. Bella, she's just a kid, right? No. This set of clothes is something I specially made for you. He hurriedly tried to explain. I followed his words, taunting him. You can wear couple outfits with 2 people at the same time. Caroline, I only love you. He was desperate, trying to rush over and hold me, but I dodged away, leaving him standing with his arms outstretched, eyes bloodshot with emotion. Caroline, can you believe me? I really want to marry you. He looked at me, eyes full of desperation. There was something pitiful about him, but I didn't want to argue anymore. I turned my back on him and slammed the door shut. Whether it was real or fake didn't matter to me anymore, because I no longer had any expectations of him. That night, I had many dreams. When I woke up the next morning, my head was splitting with pain. I shakily got out of bed and opened the door, only to find the living room completely empty. I gave a self-deprecating smile. Kevin really wasn't home, but there was still hot food on the dining table. This was the first time in so many years that Kevin had cooked for me. I remembered how Bella used to brag in front of me. Kevin is such a good cook. He can make anything. I bet you've had him cook for you a lot too. Back then, I was always so upset by Bella's words, constantly pestering Kevin to cook for me, but he always found excuses to avoid it. And now, the long-awaited moment had suddenly arrived. I felt no joy at all. In fact, I felt a bit nauseous. Without hesitation, I dumped the food from the table into the trash can. Then I immediately started canceling the wedding dress order. The hotel reservation. I had taken care of everything for the wedding myself. And Kevin always said he trusted me to handle it. Looking back, it wasn't trust at all. He hadn't cared one bit. Maybe, in his heart, the wedding didn't matter at all. After I had canceled everything, I started throwing away the furniture, the wedding favors, the candies if I was leaving. I was going to leave completely no traces left behind. Just as I was tidying up, Someone irritated a person I didn't want to see. Kevin's mother. She was a meticulous, dominant woman who had always looked down on me. As soon as she walked in, she started yelling at me. Caroline, didn't your mother teach you any manners? She knew I was an orphan. I clenched my fists and glared at her. She continued to babble, every word filled with dissatisfaction. Why are you staring at me? You haven't even married Kevin yet, and you're already hitting him? No manners at all. If you were even half as good as Bella, I wouldn't have to deal with this. Now, you won't even let Bella be the maid of honor at your wedding. Such a jealous person, stealing someone else's place, acting so smug. Don't you have any shame? Her tone was full of mockery and criticism. I couldn't take it anymore, and I shot back. Since you like Bella so much, why don't you let her marry your son? My words infuriated her. She lunged at me, but I quickly grabbed her arm and threw her onto the sofa, saying, Auntie, you know I don't have parents. I wasn't taught any manners. I stared at her coldly. She shrank back, frightened by my gaze, standing up timidly. Before leaving, she spat out venomously. Caroline, you wait. I won't let you marry into our family. That night, Kevin came home earlier than usual. He looked around the empty house, the two hard beds, and his expression faded. He hesitated for a moment, then looked at me, his gaze lingering on my face. Kevin forced a smile. It's fine, Caroline. We're getting married soon, right? It's better to clear out the furniture before the wedding, and then we can move into the new house afterward. He rambled on about a lot of things, but not a word about what had happened in the afternoon. I knew he knew. How could his mother not have complained to him? Over the years, she would often stir up trouble, criticizing me for not having manners, and whenever we argued, she would immediately rush to tell Kevin. Because of her, Kevin and I were constantly fighting. It's getting late, Caroline. You should go rest. About the maid of honor, he glanced at me, and his eyes softened as he said, We'll discuss it later. Kevin wanted Bella to be the maid of honor. His awkwardness betrayed his thoughts. I was exhausted after the busy day, both mentally and physically. I turned and dragged my tired body to the bedroom. Not long after, I heard the sound of the front door opening and closing. Kevin was leaving. Let him leave. I curled up under the covers, thinking to myself, this is all about to end anyway. He'll be leaving soon enough. That night, I slept soundly, without a single dream. The next morning, after brushing my teeth and having breakfast, my phone buzzed nonstop with notifications. I pulled out my phone, opened Instagram, and couldn't help but laugh when I saw the headline of the trending topic at #1. Now I finally understood what Kevin's mother meant when she said to me, you just wait. At 2 in the morning, Bella posted a story on Instagram, dramatically exaggerating her relationship with Kevin. She made it sound like a passionate, tragic, and deeply emotional love story, and in that story, I was nothing less than a full-fledged mistress. I had ruined their relationship. I had stolen the position of a childhood sweetheart. The view count was off the charts at that time of night. By morning, it was trending. And the comments were all people defending Bella. Bella picked the most typical comment. Brother is about to get married. I can only wish him happiness. I just want him to be happy. Below this comment, Kevin's mother had liked it, leaving a message. Bella, darling, don't cry. Auntie will always love you the most. The two of them were guiding the public to vent all their anger at me. Thousands of private messages full of insults flooded in. I took a screenshot and sent it to Kevin. Do you care about this? He called me quickly. I picked up, and Kevin's calm and deep voice came through. Caroline, Mom and Bella are just being childish. They didn't mean it. Don't take it too seriously, and if I step in and explain, it'll only make things worse. It's better to let it go, Caroline. He gently coaxed me. We're getting married in 2 days. All the rumors will die down on their own. Let's just wait quietly, okay? I tightened my grip on the phone, my teeth clenched, and the light in my eyes slowly faded. The last shred of tolerance disappeared without a trace. I lowered my lashes, speaking softly. Fine, let's do a live stream at the wedding, so everyone can see it. My soft acquiescence seemed to please Kevin. I'm so lucky to have you, babe. I smiled slightly, but let's not meet before the wedding. It's bad luck. I'll do whatever you say. After the call ended, I turned to look out the window. It was as though something was breaking through the soil, growing wildly. I and the days leading up to the wedding. I spent several sleepless nights. I carefully gathered the videos and chat screenshots I had painstakingly found, compiling them into a folder and saving them to a USB drive. I was planning to give Kevin a big gift at the wedding. The wedding day arrived. The makeup artist beside me gasped, "Miss, you're so beautiful." I smiled faintly, unconsciously tightening my grip on the object in my hand. The ceremony began. I walked slowly toward Kevin, dressed in a white mermaid-style wedding gown, under the gaze of all the guests. He was in a perfectly tailored suit, cold and noble. "Caroline, will you marry me?" He raised the ring, his gaze warm and indulgent. I felt a venomous, jealous stare. I turned my head and locked eyes with Bella, who was glaring at me with malice. Turning back, I quietly stared into Kevin's sincere, expectant eyes. I slowly opened my mouth. "Sorry, I can't." Before the words had even left my mouth, the large screen behind me began playing a shocking video. In it, the man and woman were engaged in intimate activities. The woman was Bella. She had completely lost her ladylike demeanor, screaming and lunging toward the camera. The video was bought out by me. "Where did you get it?" "Of course, your ex-husband gave it to me." I nonchalantly exposed her to that moment. Kevin understood why Bella had broken off the engagement. Turned out she had been married before, and even had a miscarriage. The video was short, just 2 minutes. Then, it switched to the next one that Kevin's mother's shrill voice echoed through the speakers, filling the entire banquet hall. Her words were unbearable, full of insults toward me. Guests in the crowd began to whisper, "Caroline, what are you doing?" Kevin screamed at me. I didn't answer. Instead, I took off my crown and, along with my wig, revealed my bald head. A collective gasp filled the room. Through the videos, everyone heard Kevin's cruel words from that time. They also heard Bella's deliberate provocation and insults. Video after video, picture after picture, they showed the countless injustices and grievances I had suffered over the years. Some people began to speak up for me. Sharp words became daggers, piercing Kevin and Bella. The scene became chaotic. Kevin practically ran over, cutting the power. Amidst the noise, I heard Kevin's furious shout, but what did it matter to me? I dragged my long wedding dress and confidently walked toward the exit of the banquet hall. The sunlight outside was perfect, warm, and the breeze caressed my cheeks. I greedily inhaled the fresh air and looked up at the white clouds in the sky, like a bird breaking free from its cage. In that moment, I had gained my freedom. The sky was vast, the sea endless. Some people I would never see again. 25 years of life. For the first time, I celebrated Christmas with my family. Even though we were in a foreign land, happiness still surrounded me like a warm blanket. It had been over 3 months since that wedding day, and my hair had grown out quite a bit. The winter in Germany was exceptionally cold, so my mother had specially knitted me a scarf and hat. "Sweetheart, do you like this outfit?" I gazed at my mother's gentle and loving eyes, tears welling up in my own. "I do," did my voice cracked, thick with emotion. "What's wrong, sweetheart? Are you not used to living here?" Seeing my teary face startled her. She rushed toward me, touching my face and kissing my forehead. "Are you feeling unwell?" I shook my head quickly. But the tears wouldn't stop falling. A familiar male voice came from behind me. I turned and saw my father approaching with some pastries in his hands. His shoulders were wet from the rain and snow, but his face was filled with joy. I couldn't help but wonder how far he must have gone just to buy these treats for me. My crying became louder, drawing the attention of passers-by. My mother embraced me tightly, gently patting my back. "It's okay, sweetheart. Now you have a father and mother." From now on, I was truly their child. I thought to myself quietly, how wonderful. Time passed, and before I knew it, we had celebrated Christmas in Germany. And then my parents took me back home to visit our deceased ancestors. To my surprise, our family's hometown was in Los Angeles, although I didn't run into anyone I shouldn't have. It was only after half a year that I heard news of Kevin again. I heard from a reporter friend of mine. After I left the wedding that day, many things had happened. Bella's true nature was exposed, and the mask she had worn for so long was brutally torn off. Kevin hated her deeply. He even slapped her several times in the face as she kept pestering him. Her parents were so embarrassed they severed all ties with her. Kevin's mother was no better. At the wedding, she pinned Bella to the ground and nearly ruined her face. Later, the situation escalated. The news spread like wildfire online. Kevin's family had their address exposed by netizens, and every day they received all sorts of threatening letters and frightening dolls. Kevin's company suffered a major blow. Investors pulled out, projects were halted, and his assets were frozen by the bank. In no time, Kevin, once the rising star of the industry, became a fallen outcast. Once, someone insulted Kevin in person, and his mother, unable to bear it any longer, ran the person over with her car. She was later arrested for intentional harm and spent 6 months in prison before being released. Caroline, feeling better. The excited voice of Chloe came through the phone. She was a journalist. And it was thanks to her that I was able to stand up for myself at the wedding. Those kinds of scumbags deserve to tear each other apart. Recently, I've heard some new gossip. I heard Chloe was still babbling on, but I couldn't focus on her words anymore. It felt as though a fog had surrounded me, blocking everything out, making it hard to hear or see clearly. Across the street, at the traffic light, I saw a familiar figure. It was Kevin. The unexpected encounter made my head spin for a moment. I quickly lowered my head and passed him, but he called out to me, "Furniture sale. Spend over 1,000 and get 100 off." Just at the corner, a flyer appeared in front of me. Kevin slightly leaned forward, tilting his head. When he saw my face, he couldn't help but tremble slightly, his whole body shaking with restraint. He was no longer the man he used to be, now wearing a grim expression. His voice was thick with emotion as he choked out, "Caroline, long time no see." His voice was low, almost hoarse, and his face looked much darker. He had even started to get a few strands of white hair. His wrinkled clothes were a far cry from the image of the confident, proud man he used to be. "I really didn't expect to run into you again." His eyes were slightly red, his gaze filled with the joy of reunion. "I've always wanted to go abroad to find you." To apologize. Before he could finish, someone interrupted him. "Come on. It's getting late. We need to head home now." A car worth a lot of money pulled up at the side of the road. My mother's anxious voice came from inside the car. The butler got out and opened the door for me, bowing respectfully. "Miss, please get in the car." I gave a faint glance back at Kevin, then responded flatly, "No need for an apology. A belated apology is worthless." With that, I turned and got into the car. Leaving without a second glance, Kevin stood frozen in place, staring at the exhaust fumes, his flyer slipping from his hand and blown away by the wind. The next moment, someone hit him hard on the back of his head. "Damn it, if you can't do the job, just get lost. I paid you to work, not to flirt with women. Look at your pathetic state. You can hand out flyers all month and still can't afford even one of her handbags. Stop dreaming." A fat man shoved Kevin, cursing loudly. "Hurry up and pick up the flyers. Do your job. If you don't bring in at least one customer today, you're fired. With that ugly face of yours, no rich woman would ever want you. Quit dreaming." Kevin clenched his fists, his knuckles cracking. His pride shattered in that instant. "It'll make her forgive me," he muttered to himself. "Caroline is so soft-hearted. She'll definitely forgive me. And then, my family will be back to how it was before." Since that unexpected encounter on the street, Kevin seemed to materialize out of nowhere, constantly showing up around me. He had even gone to get a new haircut, done some grooming, and bought a suit that didn't quite fit. But it still couldn't cover the exhaustion in his eyes. "Caroline, your favorite apple pie from the intersection. Here are the roses you always wanted. I heard a new couples restaurant opened. I've reserved a table. Want to go tonight? Caroline, the sunrise at the southern end of the city is beautiful. Let me take you to see it, okay?" For an entire week, Kevin appeared at every moment. I treated him coldly. But that didn't diminish his enthusiasm. He brought out the same tactics he used to win me over back in our first year of college. But this time, I wasn't giving him any chance. "Kevin, you really have no shame," I said coldly. "You think just by apologizing, it's all over? What about all the years of suffering I endured? Without Bella, you're not the center of attention anymore, so now you come back to me. I looked down on him from above, but now, you're no longer worthy of me. His expression faltered. The flowers fell to the ground. He opened his mouth, struggling to speak. Caroline, this is how you see me? I love you so much. He looked as if he had been wronged, like a hurt child. I scoffed disdainfully. Kevin, stop playing the pity card. Don't try to get close to me anymore. Your love is worthless. Don't think I don't know what's going on in your mind. I shoved his arm away as he tried to block me. You think I'm a rich girl now, and you want to use my parents' influence? It seemed like I had hit the nail on the head. Kevin's face turned pale. His eyes started to avoid mine as I pressed on. This is all your own doing. If I really forgave you, then I'd be out of my mind. Kevin, for your own dignity, stop. With that, I turned on my heel and walked away without looking back. I thought this would be the end of Kevin's persistent torment, but to my surprise, he didn't back off. If anything, he became even more relentless. In the underground parking garage, I spotted two familiar figures in the distance. Kevin's mother looked much older now. Her face was covered with deep wrinkles, dressed in cheap clothes, and the overwhelming stench of low-quality perfume clung to her. They were talking quietly, their heads lowered. Kevin's face was full of resistance. She caught sight of me out of the corner of her eye, and her eyes lit up immediately. Caroline, you're finally back, she said, her voice bright as she hurried over to me. You don't know how much I've missed you these past few months. As for the past, I was a victim too. Bella, that bitch, tricked me. Caroline, she reached for my hand, but I subtly pulled it away. She awkwardly retracted her hand, then continued, I've always liked you, you know? You're beautiful, capable, with such a good temperament and a calm demeanor. Most importantly, you're magnanimous. I'm sure you wouldn't hold on to those small things from the past, right? She deliberately raised her voice, trying to make her words hurt. I smiled slightly, drawing a clear line between us. So, you're saying that if I don't forgive you, I'm petty? No, no, no. That's not what I meant. Then let's part on good terms. With that, I walked past them, heading straight for home. Not far behind, I heard a loud crash. Then came the heart-wrenching sound of crying. Caroline, I'm sorry. It's all my fault. But Kevin truly loves you. I can understand if you don't want to forgive me. She collapsed to the ground, rolling around like a hysterical woman cursing in the street. But you can't blame Kevin. He sees you as his life. When you were an orphan, it was him who threatened his own life, saying he would marry you. Now that you're successful and we're struggling, you've kicked us aside. She started rambling incoherently again, kneeling down and banging her head on the ground. People passing by stared at us in confusion. They say words can be powerful. With this outburst, many people who didn't know the truth would probably feel sympathy for her. But what did that matter? In any case, my parents and I were about to leave soon. I stood silently, watching her perform, not saying a word. I and the crowd. Someone suddenly shouted, Isn't this the family that made the bride shave her head and support her mistress? Why do you still have the face to come out? Within a minute, the video of the scene was online. In just 1 or 2 minutes, the story turned around, and Kevin and his mother became the targets of scorn, the mockery, insults, disdain, and disgust from the crowd eventually triggered Kevin's explosion. Veins popped in his neck, his eyes bloodshot, like a wild beast trapped for too long. He charged into the crowd. He raised his fist and swung it violently. What are you to talk about me? Do you believe I can make sure you don't see the sun tomorrow? He started fighting with the people around him. His mother tried to stop him, but he grabbed her by the hair and threw her to the ground, hitting and kicking her. It's your fault. If it weren't for you helping that bitch Bella bully Caroline, she would never have left me. Now, I have nothing, and you're out here making a fool of yourself. If it weren't for you, Caroline would have forgiven me by now. How did I end up like this? It's all because of you. I'll kill you. Kevin had completely lost his mind. It was as though the months of frustration and repression had finally found an outlet. His mother's cries and desperate screams didn't reach him. He only knew to raise his hand again and bring it down, over and over. You and Bella should both die. Just die already. His eyes were blood-red with rage. In the end, the police arrived and managed to pull him off. Kevin was taken away in a police car. His mother, beaten into submission, was convulsing on the ground, foaming at the mouth. I took out my phone and dialed 911. This was, perhaps, my last act of mercy. The events that followed, I only heard from Chloe the day after Kevin was arrested. I went back to Germany with my parents. Chloe told me that Kevin had gone too far, had beaten his mother so severely that she ended up in the ICU with serious injuries, and he, too, paid the price for his actions. Receiving a sentence of 2 years and 3 months. Caroline, it's a good thing you didn't marry him. Chloe sighed, adding, I really didn't expect him to be such a hidden psychopath. If you had married him, who knows what would have happened? Maybe he would have started abusing you after marriage. I sat in the garden, basking in the sun, lazily sipping my coffee. I hope he'll reflect on his actions properly while in prison. After chatting with Chloe for a while, I hung up the phone. The flowers in the garden had started to sprout new leaves. The branches swayed gently in the wind. I picked up my phone and captured the beginning of their life. I looked up at the sky. The clouds drifted, and a flock of geese flew by. Spring came so early here, I murmured to myself. Then I tilted my head back and smiled broadly. Mom, I want to go to the park and fly a kite, okay? Once we finish lunch, well, I'll go.